I'm interested in finding out what will happen with the business world because I'm sensing that this busyness is going to crumble so that we will be asked to follow more of our soul mission us and do soul aligned work. And then the second part of this question is how will this affect the financial system? Uh,
Ah, ah. It
yeah.
is that all systems will come to a completion, for you are coming to the end of a cycle in which systems that were put in place are no longer operating for the collective. And so they must come to an end. And yet, there is this enormous fear that if the financial system were to crash, as you call it, that you worry about the desperateness, the worry, the concern. But you must understand that this will not come into your experience unless or until there is an operating system that is born that will allow a replacement for a shift and change where there is more unity. And so it is that having fear around the crashing or the completion or the ending of this cycle is, we want to assure you that that can be eliminated because you must remember that it would affect everyone. And so, just as the virus that came in and affected everyone made changes that might not be perceived from where you are, had an enormous effect on the collective in many ways. And at the time, we had shared that there will be other energies and changes that will occur that will affect everyone on the globe simultaneously. This is inherently designed by all of you to come into an understanding of attuning to the resonance of the energy that you are all operating, walking in, moving in, and sharing together. It is that as you are awakening your state of consciousness in moving into this new realm of perception, you will be able to create something else together through a change that might present itself. But this change isn't anything to fear. And so, yes, in the beginning of your question, that if certain systems or ways of being change in the moment, there could be a bit of distress or upheaval, but there will be much more benefit that will come for the collective through these changes as the constructs deconstruct, as the systems dissemble themselves. However, it has been going very lovely, meaning that it is happening in the increments that you are able to energetically adjust to without it having to be so difficult or harsh that it is pulled out from you instantaneously. However, if you choose as a collective not to move toward the state of unity, you will create scenarios that are implanted within the design that would be activated to push you and the momentum forward for collective or global incidences to occur to bring you back into your heart, into unity, and into relationship with one another, the energy within the earth and the energy within the stars, unifying this as one. And so you hear from many psychics and channelers and people all over that this will happen or that will happen or the system will go down or the power grid will fall apart or something you can't think of will take place. And there is truth to that. And yet it is very important not to perpetuate that, focus on that, and create fear around that because all of those systems, if were to be disabled, would be disabled by you, not necessarily on a conscious level, but on an unconscious level for the purpose of something that is much greater than the disruption that would occur from it. But what we can tell you is that there isn't anything on the horizon that would take place that would bring you into a state of deep uncomfortableness. And that seems to be the actual worry. It may create a shift and change in perception or how things are operated or how goods and services are transported or moved or how communication is done or how exchange on a monetary level of energy occurs. Yes. But the biggest fear is not actually so much about that, but what it would mean personally to any or all of you as you move and drop into a frequency of survival or a worry that everything will fall apart, that you won't have enough, that you would be hungry, that you would be cold. And we can assure you that collectively you are way beyond that survival consciousness and you are in a state of great innovation, and all things would and beautiful realities would be born from the deconstruction of the old reality. And so it is very important to release fear around these concepts or worry about when or if they will occur, and be present in each moment through the heart center in a divine and absolute knowing that you are cared for, loved, safe, and that everything is on its divine schedule. You are moving collectively toward this new consciousness in a schedule designed and planned by you, and it is unfolding as it is meant to.
Thank you, Raphael. And I just want to put one little follow up on there. And I think that one thing that people think about, maybe they're not in fear, but they're curious of if they should be so focused on generating traditional wealth. And is there anything that you have to say about where people who might have that as a focus and goal right now, what they should be focused on, or should they stop that, or should they just be focused on providing value to their community as much as possible? Do you have anything
Ah.
to add of how that might change our agenda or mindset?
Yes, the agenda of accumulating traditional wealth to have it, to safeguard it as your own for your own comfort, that particular paradigm will quickly shift and change. And so we encourage you to move into a state of aligning with your purpose, with your own divinity, your capacity to serve, your ability to share, to be in a state of authenticity, to do what is true to you. And the mirrored reflection of that will always support you, and you will always have what you are needing in any given moment. But the excess of surplus of extreme wealth or energies that are beyond one's need, that particular way of being, although we are not labeling that in any way as wrong, is going to rapidly change. And so you are cared for, and that abundance of surplus that is all around you may grow, and you may have access and availability to it, to utilize it for things to be of service, but you won't be attached to it. But if you are in a deep state of attachment to it, then you are operating actually from a lack consciousness and a state of fear, in which case it will be pulled away.